Undertaking energy or materials efficiency upgrades makes good business sense. Installing renewable energy also makes good business sense too. Both can help to offset rising electricity and gas prices. But how do you prioritise and fund these kind of upgrades? Choosing the right finance for them can sometimes be challenging, especially for small to medium-sized businesses. But as you'll hear from energy services provider Verdia, getting well-priced finance is now easier than it used to be. And when the business case is clear, financing is easier to arrange, especially when projects deliver both cost savings and productivity improvements. We start this report with Sussex Taps. It's a company that's reduced its cooling system cost by 90% and at the same time expanded production by 10%. Here at Sussex Taps, you replaced an old inefficient cooling system with a more efficient new one. What led to that decision? Why didn't you just carry on maintaining the old system?
The problem with our old cooling system was that we were unable to run the foundry on a hot summer's day, which was a major concern for us moving forward. Also, there was hidden costs that we really had to come to terms with, and they were obviously maintenance. Our management team and engineers were spending a lot of time trying to troubleshoot these concerns that were happening with the cooling system, which led to obviously cancelling runs, rescheduling our production schedules, and the costs were just going through the roof.
When you replaced your cooling, you went for a replacement with the highest capital cost. Why was that?
Yeah, obviously you really have to look at the real costs of any purchase. So obviously your purchase price plus the operating costs over a period of time, and we found that this was going to be a very positive outcome for our business. There was no chemical replacement or purchasing, which was another very positive outcome over a traditional cooling system.
Before you carried out your investment, did you get advice on how to prioritise your efficiency investments?
We went out to market to get an independent review on our business. It was funded through the government and also an energy audit of our business. And some of these big takeaways from those two reviews was operating costs and how we reduce them from a company perspective. So one of the main things that we did take away was to implement lean manufacturing across our business, which we have done and we're still doing, and that's to reduce waste across our business. And the other one was looking at our energy consumption, especially at the foundry, and looking at how do we reduce our costs, because it is a very integral part of our business, and the cooling system was one of those.
How did you source your funding? Did you shop around for the best deal?
Yeah, obviously you always do shop around for your best deal. We went to market, we got the best rate, and then the financier obviously wants to see your business case. We put that forward, and it made sense clearly that this was going to be a win-win for us.
Let's talk bottom line. What were the actual financial benefits of investing in that new cooling system?
We found that there was a 90% saving in energy costs as soon as we installed the system, which was a very positive outcome for our business. We also established that there was about a 7 to 10% increase in production from this new cooling system, which is fantastic for a growing business like ours. And obviously the other quick one to establish was there was no purchasing or disposal of chemicals as a maintenance cost moving forward.
Given the success of your cooling system investment, have you considered investing elsewhere in the business to improve your efficiency?
Yes, we are. We've just recently replaced all our inefficient lighting with LEDs, and that was assisted by Sustainability Victoria. So we're looking at about a $10,000 saving per year, which is absolutely fabulous. Also, we are looking at other things within our business to reduce our costs, especially from energy consumption point of view. We've also replaced our nitrogen machine at our foundry to also reduce there. And then we're also now looking at our space heating requirements to increase the comfort for our staff, which in turn should give us some increased productivity.
Investing in materials efficiency, renewable energy and energy efficiency is now a lot easier than it used to be. There's a wide range of finance options that are now available. To discuss those options, I met up with Paul Peters from Verdia. I started by asking him how a business should go about seeking finance for efficiency upgrades.
Like any business investment, understanding the business case or the savings that are available for my particular situation, how I use electricity, when I use electricity, will dictate. If I'm a restaurant and I use electricity in the night, putting solar on for the day isn't going to generate a lot of savings. So first and foremost, you need to identify the savings and the business case. Second of all, it's really about understanding that I'm going to buy good equipment and get a good contractor to put it in, because that can vary whether the system lasts and whether it generates those savings. Third is then finance. And fourth is actually arranging, having somebody monitor or asset manage those to ensure that I get the benefits of those savings.
Before a business goes out to get finance for a project opportunity, how important is it to validate those savings?
I think any business that goes into this, like any other investment you'd make, you want to know what those savings are. So absolutely, it is important that you actually identify those savings up front for your particular situation.
If I'm a tenant in a building, is it possible for me to get finance, or are there barriers in the way?
It's possible to get finance. The question is whether it's a good investment. And that's really on how long is my tenancy or my lease versus how quick is the payback. So if I have a long lease, 5 years, 7 years, and my payback is inside of that, 3-4 years, then I'm going to save money. So it's a smart investment.
When it comes to getting energy efficiency finance and finance for renewables, some finance costs more than others. Is it important to shop around?
Yes, because the cost of finance is one variable, which, the interest rates for energy efficient projects and solar projects can range from 4% to 20%. And so obviously I want to get the best rate I can and the lowest cost finance, but I think that's one variable. The second variable is whether I have to give up security on my building. And so I may have a $500,000 project and a $10 million building, but if I have to give up security or second mortgage to the financier or the banker providing that, I may not want to do that. And particularly if it's a good project with good equipment. The third is whether I have to give director's guarantees and other conditions. Those are onerous, and I may not want to do that. So shopping around to find low-cost finance with the right conditions is important.
How should I think about the cost benefits of energy efficiency and solar upgrades?
There's three big benefits. One is I can actually lower my costs. This equipment, it pays for itself and will generate significant savings. I think the second thing is really, rooftop solar in particular allows me to take control of those costs. Right now, the retailers in the electricity industry is actually dictating costs to me, but if I put it on my roof, I've actually got control. The third benefit is really the environmental benefits, and the current electricity system creates a lot of pollution. Rooftop solar doesn't, and energy efficiency doesn't. So those are significant benefits against the investment. These projects are, as a business owner, I'd be looking at it.
Finally, for someone looking to get finance for the first time, what advice would you give them?
If you're looking at finance for the first time for these types of projects, it really goes back to what the project is and what the business case and the savings are. And if it's a good contractor and good equipment and well-defined and clear savings, then financing becomes very easy to arrange.
As you just saw, investing in energy efficiency has helped Sussex Taps to reduce operating costs and increase productivity. And as Verdia just told us, with the right business case, well-priced finance is now also easier to obtain. In looking at financing upgrades, I found three key things that businesses should look out for. First up, if you want to improve the productivity of your business, there's often a good business case study for prioritising investments in material efficiency and energy efficiency. Secondly, if you're investing in energy and materials efficiency improvements, it often pays to shop around. Thanks to the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, the major banks now offer finance products that are specially designed for businesses who want to upgrade to equipment that reduces their energy costs. Some of these finance products are also in a suitable investment range for many SME-sized projects. Finally, if you're upgrading the efficiency of your business, prioritise where you're investing your finances. Done well, this won't just save you money, it can also underpin and support your business growth and expansion.
Smart Money's case studies have been developed with assistance from the New South Wales Office of Environment and Heritage and Sustainability Victoria.